Hey guys!
Hi everybody!
Welcome to Disney by Moonlight.
Yeah.
We're gonna do something fun today.
We're
gonna do our top 10 Disney World Orlando theme park attractions.
I'm really excited.
And before we get to that, I see you got like a horror shirt on.
Oh yeah.
Do you have like some news about Halloween Horror Nights?
I do. So we had another announcement for Halloween Horror Nights. And this is kind of old news, but I'm gonna say it here anyway. So the next house, the next reveal was a house called Dead Exposure, Patient Zero.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna read the synopsis for you guys. Experience the chaos of Dead Exposure, Patient Zero at Halloween Horror Nights. Return to the darkness. This is by Patrick Rayliard. I'm not sure who that is, but it seems like he creates houses. So I'm excited to reveal the second haunted house coming to Halloween Horror Nights 2018. This fall, fear will infect you in a brand new house that lives within a world of a fan favorite from our past, Dead Exposure Patient Zero.
So this is a sequel house.
This is a sequel house. The original Dead Exposure house shook guests to the core, easily one of the most terrifying houses we've ever had. You entered complete darkness with only bright flashes revealing the zombies hordes surrounding you. We're bringing back that same terror, but this time we're dropping you in the middle of Paris in 1982. The city of lights has gone dark as chaos spreads unchecked. Hordes of vicious, flesh-eating undead are swarming the streets. The military is forcing those not affected into quarantine, and a vaccination is being given. It's the only chance to ward off the sickness, but there are major side effects: blindness. You'll be lost in the darkness as the undead hunt you. An attack can come from anywhere. You don't have to remember the original house to understand this single truth: they will find you. This is our first original house announced for this year's event. We've got even more haunted houses and scare zones to announce for Universal Orlando's Halloween Horror Nights. And so
that's interesting. Now this is, we don't always love the original house.
No, we don't.
And we're gonna go. We announced.
And I know that's kind of sacrilege to say.
Well, we're movie people, and
yeah.
we like. Now we're into TV shows because there's some good ones now, and but what do you think? I mean, we're gonna be going this October.
Okay, so when I first heard this announcement, I was like, meh, another zombie house. That's not George A. Romero. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because we've been waiting. And I don't know if they've ever done that before, because we've only been going for like 3 years.
Right. If there had been another zombie house, I would have preferred it to be that. I was kind of surprised they're even doing another zombie house, with the fact that they just finished doing a bunch of Walking Dead houses.
I figured I mean, I don't think they're gonna stop with zombie
That
houses.
just amazes me, but
at least it wasn't a Walking Dead.
I do love zombies, but more so in.
And we love Walking Dead too.
Yeah, we do, but I was very tired of the Walking Dead houses. Just like I don't watch The Purge.
Well, they weren't they weren't very spectacular to me.
Well, it's because they didn't have the characters in them.
Yeah,
they didn't have any of the characters in the Walking Dead houses. Whereas in what's the show that
Ash vs. Evil Dead?
No, Asylum. Well, all that stuff.
All that stuff, yeah. What do you say?
The horror show that we watched.
American Horror Story.
American Horror Story. Wow. I
Yeah.
love that show anyway.
I'm blanked out.
They had the characters in that, like all the characters.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's what you want to see. If you're going there for an IP house, you want to see
right,
the
I want to see
characters.
Rick. And
There's
I wanna
no
see
point in
everybody.
doing it if you can't have the characters. They shouldn't even do it.
Right. So, but this, I'm warming up to this new house. Like
It sounds pretty
sounds
cool.
cool. It does. The
I
fact
think the
that
setting, yeah.
the fact that they're making you feel like you're blind because of the infection, and that like these zombies are going to just be popping out at you from everywhere and nowhere.
Yeah, I actually think it's going to be a little creepy, honestly.
I think it is
a little
too.
freaky, you know?
Way freakier than Walking Dead house.
I worry about when houses get too gimmicky, mainly because, you know, people have accidents and stuff.
Yeah.
You know? Like, our mom's not going this year, and, you know, I wouldn't want her to be in that house, you know, trying to walk
No,
around.
I'm glad she's not going to this one.
Yeah, she had an incident in one of the houses with snowfall where she slipped.
She slipped and fell, yeah. It had been
Krampus.
raining really, really badly. And
she loved that house. It was the Krampus house.
I know, she loved
but
it.
it was wet on the way out.
Yeah.
And, you know.
But anyway, so I feel like it's going to be a good house. And it's interesting because I was just telling you how I feel like they're going to be having an 80s theme this year,
Yeah.
possibly. 1982 in Paris. We're in an apartment complex. 1982 in Paris, and then also the Stranger Things house that just got announced.
Yeah, which is probably gonna like take a lot of. It seems like they might rally behind the whole Stranger Things thing,
Right.
and just make a lot of 80s.
I think it would be
stuff.
amazing if they did 80s themed stuff. However, I'm not sure if the most recent American Horror Story takes place in the 80s, so that would be.
Oh, because they are for sure having it.
I don't know, but I feel like they would.
I don't remember.
I mean, they haven't announced that yet.
Yeah. Oh,
but-
yeah. That's the new season that we
And
haven't
Trick
seen
or
yet.
Treat doesn't take place in the 80s. And they're rumoring that too, so maybe not. But I was thinking that they might do that. And then we were watching the Disney Unplugged, and Craig also has the same idea that he thinks they might be doing an 80s theme.
He thinks they might do a Lost Boys house.
If they do Lost Boys, I will be crying. And not in the same way I was
Yeah.
crying for Exorcist or The Shining.
That would be
but
cool. It would be cool.
I'm
I'm a Fright Night guy. Fright Night is my
I
favorite
love Fright
vampire
Night
movie.
too.
But I mean, yeah, you know,
But
Lost
when
Boys is the more.
I'm a singer, and when
Popular.
I'm about to sing in my band, there are two movies that I watch before one of my performances, like while I'm getting ready. One is Streets of Fire. I don't know if you guys have seen that from the 80s, but I watched that movie. And then another one is Lost Boys. Because that music just like pumps me up for some reason.
Oh, it's a great movie. It has a very unique
Yeah.
soundtrack that is like. I remember I used to listen to the soundtrack because our older sister
Yeah.
had it on cassette.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that would be cool. This new zombie house, and we've never been on the original because we've only been there for like 3 years going. Yeah, I think it sounds pretty freaky. I think the setting, the Paris in the 80s, that sounds really
It's
cool.
gonna be cool. I think so.
I'm excited for
I'm
it.
excited now too. I was very disappointed at first, but I'm super excited now. So
Yeah.
not as excited as Stranger Things, or possibly if they bring Lost Boys, I will be jumping off the wall excited.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And we mentioned that because we are going this year for the Halloween stuff for Mickey's Not So Scary and for
Right.
HHN, which we've done a couple of years. I noticed that watching one of our previous trip videos, when we were coming back from the trip, in the video we mentioned we're already planning next year.
Oh,
but
yeah.
we said we were probably going to go at Christmas time. So we're not
Okay.
doing that after all.
No, we're going back
We're
for
going for the Halloween trip. Got to get back there for Christmas. We love it at Christmas.
We
but
do, but that is always a more expensive trip, and
Oh,
we
is it?
really have to plan for that. Well, yeah, because we usually go for a week at a
Yeah,
time.
and that's when we hit all the parks on those trips
And
usually.
for Halloween, we
least-
usually just do like a long weekend type thing.
Yeah.
Or this time we're not. We're doing a few more days, but yeah. So, but yeah. Did you want to give a trip update?
Do you have any trip update news?
I really have no news except for the fact that we booked our cabin.
So we've got our cabin booked now.
So we have our cabin booked. Yes.
And you're not able yet to schedule the pre-cleaning.
No, that is
because now they allow pets, but you can for free ask them to do a special like deep cleaning.
Right, I believe I said that was 10 days in advance. I have
10 days?
I have to
Oh,
look
wow.
at my notes, but I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so that's kind of a last minute thing. So we've got our cabin, we've got our Return to Sleepy Hollow
event.
tickets, and we have the golf cart booked.
Right.
Is that everything?
Yeah. We also have a couple of dining reservations booked as well. Not Hoop-Dee-Doo yet. We need to do that soon.
And so basically, we do these like in these increments, all the booking, partly for financial. You got to break it up.
Right. And
but
we
another
prioritize and see like, okay, which one is the most important, which was the golf cart, and then I mean the Sleepy Hollow was also the most important.
But also, there's like they make things available for booking a certain number of days before your trip.
Yeah.
And you have to know how that works. So like
you really do.
Like today's the day I can book my room.
Well,
today's the day I can book my.
I mean, essentially, you should book your room first, and then you will have.
You can do that at any time, right?
Right, you can do that at any time. But if you're planning on booking other experiences,
that's what you have to watch the dates.
You will not have the advantage that the people who have booked the room do.
Oh, they get to do it even earlier.
Right, because like I said in our previous video, we lucked out and we got the Sleepy Hollow event that we wanted on that night, and we hadn't booked our cabin yet. But normally, because it's, I mean, an experience like that is very popular, normally we would have, lucked out or we would have just missed the date because whoever had booked their cabin would have had that 10-day advantage afterwards.
Right. I see what you mean.
Yeah, so it's a little complicated. And
so there's some things, like especially events, like maybe the Halloween party.
Right.
You need to know when the date opens up for you to book.
Yeah.
In relation to your
And the Halloween
trip
parties do sell out, but they sell out closer to the event. It's not going to be like one of those things where, there's only 50 people allowed to go. So, I mean, this Sleepy Hollow event, there is literally only room for maybe 50 people, I would say. I mean, we don't have an exact count, but it's the stables,
Yeah.
Whereas a party is, they do have a max on the party, but it's a little more. There's a little more leeway. But yeah, you have to prioritize and just, think about what's probably going to sell out first and what's not. If you're lucky to book everything all at once, that's awesome. But yeah.
Okay.
So that's the trip update.
Okay, cool. So before we start with the countdown, I have my little bit of news, which is that I saw Avengers Infinity War.
Ooh.
Which, I don't know, I might do a separate, spoiler review.
Yeah.
I'm a little behind with movie reviews. I've seen 3 or 4 movies, or 3 movies that I haven't reviewed yet, so I might still do them. But as for a non-spoiler review...
Yeah, because I haven't seen it yet, and I don't want to make spoilers.
Yeah, okay. It is one of the most incredible movie-going experiences I've ever had, and that's not a lie.
That's awesome.
And a big part of that is just the sheer amount of Marvel superhero characters played by, known actors and everything on the screen, in this one film. It's just unbelievable. It's like watching Who Framed Roger Rabbit for the first time,
Wow.
which
That's pretty cool.
is my favorite film. Yeah, it's just, you got everybody together, Guardians of the Galaxy, the Avengers, just everybody's all mixed up in that. And that is a huge part of it. And it is a great movie. It relies, of course, you have to have seen at least a lot of the previous films to know, the characters, because they don't waste time developing all these other characters. There's over 60 characters, and Marvel characters are in this film.
Which makes so much sense. That is why the DC stuff that they've been doing has been such a cluster.
Yeah, there's been a lot of problems with that. And I still get enjoyment out of those because, again, just seeing some of those characters on screen, big budget and everything, is amazing for a fan. Because we haven't seen it before. Yeah, with these, they've taken a lot of time.
10 years.
I mean, it's a 10-year anniversary thing, and they built up these characters. And so, as far as character development, they focus totally on the villain.
Okay.
So you see the villains lately, especially like in some of the DC stuff, and they're just like these cookie cutter take over the world villains. And this guy, they really, whether you want to poke plot holes in his reasons, they really develop the character.
That's cool.
To make him an amazing character. It's just
an amazing
fantastic.
villain or an amazing character?
Both, literally both.
So would you say in a non-spoiler way that you have sympathy for him?
Well, no, but
can you understand his
you
situation?
Can buy that he understands it, that he believes in what he's doing. You can buy that, and you can. He has a charm about him. This is Josh Brolin playing the role, and
I didn't
you
know
can
that.
see him in the character. And I don't. And you know, we've talked about CGI. I mean, this CGI is really good. Was he in Guardians?
He was, right?
The character. Yes.
And Josh
but
Brolin was
I don't
playing him?
think they had Josh Brolin yet until this movie.
Well, I feel bad for that.
But
dude.
he looks pretty much the same anyway. It was probably just a CGI character with like somebody's voice.
Oh, okay.
But this was, and he was barely in that other stuff, really. I mean, a little bit. But yeah, it's just amazing. He does an amazing job. It's an amazing movie.
I love the Brolin boys.
Mild spoiler. She does. Mild spoiler is, as expected, characters die.
Yeah.
Some of them are very surprising, but we know because of the sequels that are planned that everybody knows they're already working on the next Spider-Man, the next.
But
we know they're coming back. Somehow they're going to bring him back to life.
In comic book sense, couldn't they? Because I know that in comic books they replace previous Spider-Mans with new Spider-Mans. Do you think that they'll pull that kind of a thing? I don't even know if Spider-Man gets killed. I'm just saying in general.
I think that is going to happen with some characters. Like we've been all the time talking about like Captain America, because in the comics other characters take over.
Right.
Bucky or Falcon. I think they both are Captain America for a while in the comics.
Okay.
Yeah, like I think Black Panther's sister is Black Panther for a while.
Oh,
so
interesting.
I mean, they could, if they wanted, they could leave characters dead for a while and bring them back later. But I don't think that's. I think in the next movie we're going to see characters that died come back.
Okay.
For their movies, but not all of them. I don't think. I think some of them are going to die. Some characters, their contracts are up, the actors, and they're ready to move on. Forgetting his name, but the actor who plays Captain America kind of already said that he kind of wants to do some other stuff.
I don't blame him. I mean,
he might come back later.
That's an awesome role.
He had a great run.
Yeah.
And this, I feel like, because this is kind of a two-part movie. The next movie, I don't know if they're going to call it Infinity War Part 2, but it is the next part.
And didn't Robert Downey say that he was feeling a little old to play it? Like he was a little tired or something?
Yeah, but... Yeah, I mean, the people were speculating Cap and Iron Man are probably the most likely characters to die. I'm not going to give spoilers.
Okay.
But I am going to say that characters that didn't die in this movie might die in the next part.
Huh.
And characters that died here might come back to life and then die. I mean, there's no knowing what's going to happen until we've seen both of the movies together. And yeah, characters in the comics come back to life all the time. But in the movies, I don't think they want to do that too much.
Now,
or people are going to stop going because it's not sticking.
I have another question. Is this Brolin character, I mean, is he really that powerful to be killing off all of our friends? I mean...
He is incredibly powerful, but it is cool whenever he has a moment in a fight that somebody
finds the weakness.
Is holding up. No, just holding up against him. And his face is like, what? How is this happening?
That's cool, okay.
But, I mean, we've all seen the trailer where he's fight. I mean, normally if he hits you, I mean, you're down. But there's like that scene in the trailer where Cap is like holding him back, holding his fist, and his reaction is kind of like, how are you doing this? You're just like some guy, I
have a hard time remembering like everything that happens throughout these films. Why is he so powerful?
Well, besides the fact that he's just a big alien guy,
Okay.
the point of in all these films we've been seeing these gems, all these different stones.
Right.
He's been collecting them, and he has made this glove to hold them, and it's just
so
I mean,
like Thor's
one
hammer,
of those
but way
stones
more
gives you
powerful.
insane power. Just
Okay,
one
so
stone
he has, like, all of
is
them.
going to give you insane power. So he's been trying to get them all. With all the stones, he can snap his fingers and destroy everything, just instantly turn everything to dust if he wants.
So the motive is, or the mission is to get this away from him, basically.
Well, I mean, I don't want to give any spoilers, but you could assume it's either,
to stop him or to
stop him in some way. Get it away from him. Initially, don't let him get all the stones. You can anticipate that he's going to get most of them, and then or all of them, and then it's like would be getting the glove off of him or killing him if you have to, I guess.
But that doesn't necessarily happen because this is no spoilers.
Well, I'm not. Yeah, I did not
spoil anything.
Really spoil anything.
Okay.
But it's awesome. It's
cool. I'm excited.
It is such a fun ride. They could have made it 3 hours. I don't even know how long it was. But I've heard it's like only 2 hours, and some people have said they could have gone 3. But it would have been awesome. It would have been awesome.
I know I love Titanic, but 3 hours.
They're splitting it into two. The way they're doing it now, splitting it into 2 movies.
I love Guardians. Guardians, they're my favorite. And I love Iron Man and Captain America too. But like the Guardians, I hear
the Guardians are in it the whole time.
They keep their music and all that stuff.
Well, there's like the scene where they cut to the Guardians. This isn't a spoiler, and you first see the Guardians on screen.
You establish them with
you see their ship flying, and it, it's like cut to them and it's the music,
Okay, cool.
And it's just that they don't play their music throughout. It's an Avengers movie.
Okay.
But they establish their characters. It's the same characters. Everybody's great. Everybody's in character.
That's so awesome.
There's no issues. Somehow they keep these characters in character. They don't have any issues with that.
That's awesome.
It's an amazing movie. You need to see it.
I do.
It's so good. Yeah. I guess that's all I'll say. I was gonna say we were talking about how and people are calling it like the new Empire Strikes Back because it's kind of like a cliffhanger ending in a way, because we know that characters don't all make it in this and everything. But what I was going to say about that, when I said earlier about how the characters, they don't waste time developing these characters because we all know them already, if you've been keeping up. And I think that's really cool because that's the way comics are.
Right.
And like I think it was Kevin Smith who said these movies are teaching you how to be like a comic person because of the way that they create this big universe. And if you don't read, you might not know what happened to Black Panther if you don't read a certain issue of Captain America because they intersect so much.
It's slightly overwhelming for me. Slightly.
Well, you've seen most of the movies too.
Yeah, but I don't remember half of them.
Well, I've got every single one.
Which is so funny because
except Black Panther's not out yet.
Because I do an X-Files show with Nathan, and I remember everything, or you know what I mean, like it's coming back to me. I don't understand how I can remember some things and then.
You saw those a lot more. The Avengers.
That's true. I've only seen them
all
like
the
once
Marvel
or twice.
movies. You've always seen
Yeah,
maybe you've seen some of the Iron Man ones more than once, and the Guardians of the Galaxy you've seen a lot.
Yeah.
And the other ones, some of them you haven't even seen. I don't think you've even seen.
I haven't seen Black Panther yet.
Or you haven't seen Thor 2. I know you haven't seen Thor 2. I don't know if you've seen the first one.
No, I've never seen the first one.
Yeah.
I saw part 3 though.
You saw
it was
part
really
3.
Good.
Part 3 was awesome, but part 3 was a different animal from the first 2 movies. But
I saw half of part 1.
Yeah. They're all good, but the first 2 Thor movies are probably the only ones that for me they're like on the bottom of my list of all the Marvel,
Thor films?
all the MCU movies. Not the third one. The third one is
The third one is so good.
The third one is up there with Guardians,
Yeah.
in the top tier, But the first 2 Thor movies would probably be on the bottom of my MCU list. But anyway, so let's get to our list. Let's get to our top
Segway.
10. Yeah.
So top 10 Disney World rides or attractions.
Right.
Yes.
Now, Hang on, my phone is giving me issues. Wants me to update all the time.
Now
so
we're gonna count this down from 10 all the way to 1, and
Yes.
we will have
we're gonna have some honorable mentions.
You're gonna have some. I only have one. That's not fair.
I couldn't do.
That's not fair.
I'm sorry, dude. I have like a lot of.
Oh, you can't do that. No.
I can't not do it.
Whatever.
Okay, well, anyway, we'll see what happens when we get there.
All right.
But before we get into it, okay, so these are our 10 favorite rides or attractions, shows, anything like that are currently existing.
Right. This does not
at the
count.
parks.
This does not count any of our favorite rides that no longer exist.
Yeah, which is some of our very favorites.
Yeah, and this does not count some of the rides that we haven't been on before.
We have not been on Toy Story Midway Mania.
Yes.
We have not been on the Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. I have not been. You have, but I have not been on the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Yes, okay.
We have not seen, I don't know if they still have this. The Nemo show at Animal Kingdom, do they still have that?
I don't even know.
Okay, they had a Tarzan show and then they had a Nemo show. I did see the Tarzan one. We never saw that. Now, I don't know if that theater is even still there, let alone what they're showing there.
Mm-hmm.
But if they have the Nemo show, we haven't seen it. We have not seen the new Up-themed bird show from the movie Up.
That's cool.
Okay, we've seen the old bird show, and I really like it, and I think you really liked it too.
Up-themed? Oh yeah, I really
They changed it to an Up theme, like
That's
from the movie, the
interesting.
Pixar movie Up. Yeah, so I'm excited to see that. I love Up, so that'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
And we have never been to Avatar Land at
Right.
all.
Right.
So we've never been on the Avatar rides. Honestly, I thought that was a mediocre movie, and
Some of these things we've never been on because of a lack of interest.
no, not for me though. For you maybe, but for me only the Avatar Land. But we've never been there while it's been open either.
Look, I understand that everybody's obsessed with Toy Story Midway Mania, but I think that's ridiculous.
She's never been on it, but
I've been on the Buzz Lightyear.
you've been on it. Yeah, well, I love the Buzz Lightyear ride, but I don't go on it every time because you guys don't care. about
What
it.
is the point?
It's
I don't
fun.
get it.
That's the point of all the rides. They're fun. But and I would like to go on Toy Story Midway Mania, but if it's like a friggin' super long wait because everybody's obsessed with it, I can pass.
Yeah.
And I love the Toy Story movies. I love the Toy Story movies, and I still think it's kind of ridiculous that they made a Toy Story Land.
I love Toy Story too.
I think Toy Story Land is a dumb idea. I'm sorry. I love those movies, but I would have gone for so many other lands over that.
I think it's an odd choice.
It's just because it's popular, and I love Toy
But
Story.
is it really that popular to make a land out of?
Well, see, if it was up to me, the land I probably would have made wouldn't have been popular.
I feel like had
I
this
probably would have made Muppet Land or something.
I feel like had this land been made in like the late 90s, then everybody would have been all excited about it. But this is a little isn't Toy Story a little outdated?
No, there's another Toy Story movie coming out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, heck.
But I would have made a Pixar Land and taken all this Pixar stuff and put it over there.
If we're doing all these old movies, I want a Bedknobs and Broomsticks Land. I mean, bring me some old stuff.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking that they don't care too much about
They
the
don't
old
care
stuff.
anything about the old stuff.
And we'll probably get into that a little bit in our list. But
All right. Well, we should get to our list.
But I did want to say, so we're coming off of this as people who we started going to Disney World when you were like 2 or something.
Right.
I went to Disneyland, California when I was like 5 or 6. I have small memories of it, but that was the one time. And then when you were like 1 or 2 years old, I don't know.
It was 2.
2 years old, we started going to Disney World in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And for about, until you were like starting college or early in college, we went maybe every other year or something like that, roughly. At least 10 trips, you know?
Yeah.
And then and I would call that during the best time periods, at least the earlier ones.
Yeah, I mean we can say the decade. I'm fine with it.
It was the early '80s and I mean sorry.
Jeez.
I just made you the late '80s and early '90s,
right?
Which for us was kind of the best period.
Yeah.
Because of things like Roger Rabbit and Dick Tracy and all that stuff, especially at the Disney Hollywood Studios,
yeah.
which was a different park then, you know.
Do you guys remember Calling Dick Tracy?
Oh my God, we loved all that.
With the Tommy gun.
And Epcot Future World was just unbelievable, in our opinion, and it's a different place now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because we need to do a whole show on old Epcot and how much we love it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And the music, all the songs.
I know, and we'll get into that when I go through my top 10 for sure.
And so we didn't, you know, at some point, you know, for various reasons, just, you know, life and money and stuff, we didn't go to Disney World for like 10 years.
Well, I was in college and, you know,
yeah, I mean, we were,
it
was college and stuff like that. And so we didn't go for like 10 years. And then we started again. Our father passed away, and we wanted to take our mom over there, you know, and everything. And that was, I don't know, 2000. Was it 2014 by the time we finally went over there?
I think it was 2014, yeah.
And so we've been going every year ever since then.
Mm-hmm.
But
it might have been 2013.
But the trips have been different because we didn't used to know how to do it. Was it 2013?
Yeah.
We didn't used to know how to do it. We didn't used to stay in the resorts. We didn't used to do all that. You did a lot of research.
I did a lot of research.
We started taking real trips.
Right. I did a lot of research. I owe a lot of my knowledge to the Diz Unplugged.
YouTube, a lot of stuff on YouTube.
But I was listening to the podcasts of the Diz Unplugged.
Before YouTube,
and I like scoured through their stuff and like went back to from when they first started and everything. And so yeah, it was lots of research, but I'm glad because we've been having these amazing trips.
Yeah, we wish so much our father could have been on these trips because he was just kind of a tolerating Disney kind of person, but very nicely tolerating it.
But if there were things that he loved horses and he loved the outdoors.
He didn't get to enjoy experience Fort Wilderness and stuff like that, which we are in love with.
Right.
And I was so sad about that. And he used to drive us. This is someone you didn't really care much about most Disney stuff, but he would drive us like 2-day drive from South Texas to
the
Florida.
Park the next day, like we didn't even give him a day of rest.
And he'd be like exhausted, and usually he would go. It was like later years, maybe he sometimes would stay in the hotel for a day. But yeah, and we used to take him in the worst time of year, which was like the summer, and we used to.
Well, it wasn't us, to be fair. I mean, it was
our parents.
Mom and Dad who decided.
But now we do it really well. We do it, but it was also school and stuff like that.
Right.
Now we go either Halloween or Christmas usually.
Yeah. I
want to try Easter because I love Easter.
You will never catch me there in the summertime.
It's not good. We used to do it. It was terrible.
I'm going to be going to Disneyland in a couple of weeks.
For like a 1-day thing.
For like a 2-day thing.
It's like a professional trip.
1.5-day thing. Yeah.
We're doing other stuff.
It's a work trip. But
and so you're probably not gonna film or anything, but we're gonna talk about it a little, right?
Right.
Coming back and tell us.
We'll talk about it a little bit.
Okay, because I haven't been there in so long. There's so much I want to do there. I gotta get over there sometime.
So what I was going to say is that I'm a little scared because it's already May and I'm going to a Disney park and it's going to be horrible. But it's my first time at Disneyland, so I'm excited.
And I'm dying to get over there.
Staying at the Disney Hotel.
You're so lucky.
I know. I wish we were going.
I've got to wait for October, but that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's our background with Disney. With the parks with it, especially Disney World, Florida, which is the only one we've been to lately.
So are you ready? Number 10.
Yeah, let's.
You go first.
Start with. I go first?
Yeah.
Okay, my number 10 is Winnie the Pooh.
Aww.
I love this, and it's an old-fashioned dark ride. At first, I was a little bit like, they replaced Mr. Toad's Wild Ride with this, and I wasn't happy about that. I love Winnie the Pooh, though. I do love Winnie the Pooh.
I love Winnie the Pooh.
And this is a fantastic ride. It's a great old-fashioned style ride, and I still miss Mr. Toad. Mm-hmm. And they have several rides like this, and I'm surprised that when they put it in, even, which was probably in the 90s. I don't remember, but when they put it in, I was kind of surprised that it was still like an old-fashioned kind of ride like that. But I love it.
I love that ride so much. I mean, I've always thought that that the film Winnie the Pooh was just so eerie in a way, like when
I don't get that, but yeah.
when his spirit comes out of his body and everything. I mean, I know he's sleeping, but it's creepy. And then you've got
it's just a dream though.
The heffalumps and woozles, and then
oh yeah, that was a cool kind of.
I mean, it's creepy, and especially if you're going through the ride. I love that ride so much. But it
really captures this.
I do remember Mr. Toad, and I do love that. You actually go to hell, and I'm really excited to go on Disneyland. But yeah, but Winnie the Pooh, definitely a must-do. I would say.
Love it. And I love Winnie the Pooh. I'm super excited for Christopher Robin, the movie come out.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah, I just love that ride. Okay, so what's your number 10?
My number 10 is the People Mover.
Ah.
Yes.
Which I love too.
So I love the People Mover. It is a classic ride, and it's really relaxing. And we usually go on the People Mover. It's usually the second ride that we go on for Halloween. We're probably going to change things up a little bit this year, but
well, we're going for 2 days to the Halloween party, so one day we'll do that.
But it's just a great ride to just sit down and relax and like enjoy. I mean, it takes you up above the
various Tomorrowland areas, just
areas,
the whole area.
And you've got the announcer saying, "Welcome to Tomorrowland," and like, "This is Space Mountain," and it has like it's just a little tour, and it kind of like zips you through it, and it reminds me of the 80s and some of the 70s. It's very cool. I love it.
Yeah, it's very cool.
You might notice a trend in my top 10 list.
No, don't give it away. But yeah, it's just a relaxing ride that you wouldn't think that you wouldn't even expect it to still be there, but apparently because of just the way it's built, they cannot remove it.
And I'm so happy that people love going on it.
People love it. People really love it.
It makes me happy that they're probably not going to get rid of that. So
yeah, and they could always shut it down, operation of it, which I hope they don't. But
right,
everybody loves it, so that would be pointless to do that.
Yeah, it is awesome.
Yeah. So
number 9.
My number 9 is the American Adventure.
That's your number 9?
I know, but do you remember when I was making this list and how hard it was for me?
I feel like maybe I should be going first on these numbers.
You probably should have.
I don't know.
You probably should have, but that's my number 9, just because I love so many attractions, and honestly, it's so hard for me to put this in order. But American Adventure.
I'm tearing up thinking about American Adventure right now.
Yeah, it's very emotional. And it's just a show in Epcot Center in the American Pavilion where you sit there and it's animatronic characters. Some of my favorite people, you got Mark Twain and Ben Franklin as the hosts.
Susan B. Anthony.
And they're not the hosts.
No.
I'm talking about the hosts. These are the hosts, and they just go through all the the decades and all the time periods, centuries in the United States.
Yeah.
In developing,
and then you have the epic
America.
song "Golden Dream."
Yeah, with that film at the end, the film
man.
clip, it's amazing. Yeah, like the classic song. Did they ever change that song, like the singers?
They have never changed the actual song, but they have
singers.
had different. Yeah, which my taste is I love the original version.
And that's one of the last songs. That one in O Canada, and I don't know if there are any others that are still around from the days, because I have that old CD soundtrack of those old Epcot songs that are just our favorite music, and those might be the last 2 that are still there. I don't know if there are any others, but
it's a wonderful experience to just go in there and like enjoy this show.
Air conditioned,
usually quiet. I cry like a baby. I mean, it's Niagara Falls when I watch this show. And poor Nathan and Mom are always like gathering tissue from Mom's purse trying to help me out.
Yeah.
But it is so emotional. I love it. And Cannonball Don't Pay No Mind. And
oh, yeah. Yeah,
It's so good.
that song too.
I've always been emotional with that attraction, but I think recently we've done a lot of research on our family.
Oh yeah.
As far as
more than
our
ever.
ancestry goes, and so
Which is so diverse, our ancestry.
we seem to have.
It is shocking how diverse our history is.
Yeah, and we seem to have an ancestor in every period of focus of American history.
We have like Revolutionary War spies and
Yeah.
on our working for our side,
Working for America
and just like everything. It's amazing. People who came over on not the original Mayflower, but the next ship or something.
Fun story, guys. So just a side story. So our family was supposed to be on the Mayflower.
The original Mayflower.
Actually, no, we were supposed to be on this ship. There was a fleet, okay, of ships, and we were supposed to be on this ship right behind the Mayflower, okay? But apparently the captain of that ship didn't want to go on the trip or something, so he made up this story.
Whoa, wasn't the ship leaking or something? Or you made that up?
That's the big question. If the ship was really leaking or if he just didn't want to go. So a bunch of people from that ship that our ancestors were on went on to the Mayflower, but our poor ancestors got left behind.
But we went a year later, right?
Yeah, it was
or was it more than a year?
It might have been a year or two. I don't remember, but we went on the next trip over. We stayed in whatever the port was, and then we went over.
But it was
again.
Also on a ship called the Mayflower, right?
Yeah, it's confusing.
So we're on like the second Mayflower, like a year or two later. So we did come over on the Mayflower.
Yeah. I have to double check on that, but that's the story.
Interesting, yeah.
Anyway. You can see how it's just really emotional for me.
We had a lot of American history stuff that came up. We're, like a lot of our ancestors, direct descendants of Pocahontas' dad. It's crazy. And just all kinds of stuff. Anyway, what's your number 9?
My number 9 is Peter Pan.
Really?
Yes. So Peter Pan is my number 9. I can't tell you the feeling if you've never been on Peter Pan, but it is, I was kind of obsessed with 2 Disney films when I was a kid, and 2 of the cartoon, 2 of the animated features. Actually, no, I was obsessed with all of them. Except for the princess stuff. I wasn't really super obsessed, and I still am not with the princess stuff. But stories in general. Like, my favorite stories are Peter Pan and Robin Hood. So, of course, I really was attached to those Disney films. But getting on this ride, you get on this ride in a pirate ship. And by the way, I want to give props to the last cast member that we saw who put us on this ride. It was during Halloween, a Halloween party, and this girl was so awesome. She was like really making the kids feel like it was magic. Like she was like raising up the.
She was doing little hand motions,
raising the bar for the kids.
Bar.
It was really
we mentioned that in the trip video, but yeah.
But and then you just soar over the city of London, which is one of my favorite cities, and you see the pirate ship, and you see Wendy. and Tink,
Tinkerbell.
and it's just a glorious ride. And you can like kind of see where things have been patched together and stuff like that now that you're older.
This is one of the original rides.
Awesome.
Like even when Disneyland opened in like the 50s, this was like one of the original rides.
I still remember dreaming about going to Disney World, like in between trips when I was a kid, and you had a Disney World book, and there was this really vivid shot of Wendy on the plane.
Yeah, I remember that book.
And I loved that
I might
picture.
have that book
I would
still.
like obsessively look at that picture. I'd be like, oh, Peter Pan.
Yeah.
But and now they have this amazing queue line.
Oh yes, I was going to mention that.
So much fun. So much fun because you get to walk through, and that was also one of my favorite parts of the Disney film is the beginning part.
The bedroom
of it.
and all
the bedroom
that stuff.
scene and the family and everything. I love that stuff. Nana, everything. I just love the Victorian look of everything, and so you get to go through the queue and you get to interact with Tinkerbell, and it's really funny because usually I'm not one to interact with stuff like there was a Soarin' game at one point, like in the
Oh,
queue
yeah.
for Soarin', and I was like, what the hell is going on?
I don't know, maybe that's still there, but yeah.
But this
I would
Peter Pan queue really had me interacting. I was like, Tinkerbell, like the bell.
The Soarin' thing is fun. I mean, that
really
wait can be
cool.
really bad if you don't have a fast pass.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, it's an amazing queue.
that's my number 9. Number 8.
Number 8 for me is Dinosaur.
Really?
Yes.
Well done. I'm glad that we're getting to mention that.
Yeah, and I don't know how long that's gonna be there, because there's talk about turning that area into like Indiana Jones land, and apparently they really are considering
Aw.
it. Which Indiana Jones is one of my favorite things.
Mine too, but I really have fond memories of Dinosaur.
Yeah, it's just and I'm dying to go ride that Indy ride, which is the same kind of ride.
Yeah, it's the
So
same.
that's why they say they might convert this into an Indy ride. But anyway, it's just an awesome time travel, catch a dinosaur, going back to like anytime you transport me to the time of the dinosaurs and you make it this dark atmosphere with like
Absolutely.
volcanoes and all this, plants, and it's just overrun with nature and primitive, like
Yeah.
freaky and giant
And
dinosaurs.
the way they do it, everything
Primordial
is so
stuff.
like,
Oh,
God.
it's fast.
It's
and
amazing.
It's crazy. It's
I
love that
remember,
ride.
I remember we have a memory of going on this ride like 4 times in a row when it was
Yeah.
raining one day or something, and
'Cause there was hardly
nobody
any
was
line.
there. Nobody was there, so it was awesome.
yeah.
I really
I
enjoyed
love that ride. It's so cool. Dinosaurs are cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Oh yeah,
amazing.
Jurassic Park.
Time
we love
travel's
Jurassic Park.
awesome.
Time travel. Someday.
Which Disney has messed with a few times in attractions. but
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally love
Very
that. And
cool.
yeah, okay, go ahead.
Are we on 8?
Yeah.
My number 8 is Winnie the Pooh.
There you go.
So yeah, we just because I love Winnie the Pooh. It's one of those movies that when I need a relaxing time, which is usually normally, I need relaxing movies. I will just sit there and watch Winnie the Pooh and just feel like a kid again. And I love that ride. I know a lot of adults don't like dark rides, but our family love dark rides. And
Yeah.
I mean,
Because we're more into that than we are thrill rides.
to get into, I have a heart thing that I can't really do, roller coaster type things.
Yeah, and I just don't like having my stomach fluttering up in my neck.
I used to love this kind of rides when I was younger.
I'll ride them,
so,
but yeah.
we even went, like, one of our trips to Universal, and I know we shouldn't talk about Universal, but
We do anyway.
one of our trips there, we went on the Cat in the Hat. Was it Cat in the Hat?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Cat in the Hat ride like 5 times, and nobody else was going on the ride.
We
and
loved
this guy who was running the ride was like, "Are you guys sure?" Like it was.
Is this a joke?
It was 3 adults going on this Cat in the Hat ride. We loved that ride so much.
I love that ride.
But yeah, Winnie the Pooh, fantastic.
Yeah, excellent.
Number 7.
Number 7, Soarin'.
Soarin'.
Yeah,
Really?
It's just, I told you, I've always wanted to, like, I haven't done this yet, but I'd like to do some hang gliding type stuff.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe not true, real hang gliding, like jump off a mountain, but, but like, I don't know what they call it when they're pulling you with a boat. You know, I'm always thinking of parasailing, but that's different because you have a parachute, which I would also be fine with trying. It's kind of the same kind of deal. You know, it's just like hanging on and flying there.
I've seen way too many horror films of where that goes bad. So, but I've done it before. So
I would like to try that someday. But yeah, I just love it. We're flying. I love the idea of flying.
I understand that.
So, but I don't know if I could ever do that in real life. I probably could, but.
What do you think about the new Soarin'? Are you talking about like the previous Soarin'?
I loved them both. I wish they lasted longer, but they're not bad. But I know that they say that if you're not sitting right in the middle on a new Soarin', then it's
the
terrible.
Eiffel Tower is like this.
Because everything is
Leaning
warped.
Tower of Eiffel.
Yeah, but I think we've been lucky because I don't think I've sat enough to the side on Soarin' before, because I've only been on Soarin' maybe like 3 times or something. Maybe once with the old version and twice with it. Maybe I've only been on it twice. I don't know, but I've been on both versions, and I don't remember any bad warping or anything, so we must have been right in the middle or close.
I remember slight warping.
Yeah. I mean, when I go to the movies and I sit on the front row and I'm on to the side, it's still warping. I don't like it. But yeah, when you're in the middle, it's amazing. I love it. I find it really amazing.
Cool.
Yeah.
My number 7 is Tower of Terror. Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. Let me just say that I love Twilight Zone. I've always been obsessed with it. And the fact that there's a ride that goes with Twilight Zone makes me so happy. I love Guardians to death, but it scares me that they're going to replace Twilight Zone Tower of Terror with Guardians in Disney World, and I think they already said they were going to, didn't they? It's not for sure.
I heard something about that. That would be terrible. I think you should just have something unique to one park.
I think so too.
And
I think
unique
that's
to
great.
the other park. But
so, one thing I will say about Twilight Zone Tower of Terror is that Lando's eating again.
Our tortoise is eating right now. He's so cute.
He's adorable. He's a mini dinosaur. So one thing I will say about Tower of Terror is that I have to be in the mood to ride it because of the drops. But usually, even if I'm not in the mood, I'll force myself to ride it because of the theming.
The theming is amazing.
The theming is so gorgeous. So really, I don't let a trip go by without riding it if I'm in that park. I know Nathan sometimes does because he's a little more.
I don't like the
dropping feeling. I feel like it might have gotten better over the years. I don't know, but.
But I've gotten more. I'm okay with not going on it, but. I mean, I've gone on it a lot.
I mean, to walk through the lobby of that hotel, and I guess it brings me to the fabulous 90s movie.
I was waiting for you to mention that. The Kirsten Dunst and
Gutenberg.
Steve Gutenberg, yeah.
I know that is the cheesiest movie, and it is horrible.
We watch it every Halloween.
I love that movie. I love that movie so much. I think it's amazing, and I love that. I love that they have Twilight Zone, and I love that they have Rod Serling on the ride. And you know, if you really peek at certain things, you can see certain items from different episodes of Twilight Zone. Yeah. Like especially when you're coming back from the Twilight Zone in the ride, and it's just everything's amazing. And
it's fantastic.
Actually talking about it really makes me want to ride it right now. But
it's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, if you can sacrifice your stomach, then it's a great ride.
We might not get to ever ride it again because.
Don't say that.
Because lately we have not been going to Disney Hollywood Studios.
I know.
Because for one thing, most of it is under construction.
Right.
But also just we're taking shorter trips currently.
Yeah.
With our
we're kind of
focus on Halloween stuff.
Waiting for Star Wars to come out too.
Yeah, we're waiting for the Star Wars.
Yeah.
We love Epcot, but we're not getting to go when we go out for Halloween. So.
And the last time we tried to do Epcot was during a Halloween trip, and they were doing the Food and Wine Festival. And excuse me, we were gonna try the Food and Wine Festival, but it was so packed.
You already tried the Food and Wine. No, yeah. It was crazy, and also there's this is the tough thing about the Food and Wine Festival. Off topic, but we love the restaurant Tokyo Dining. So we go there and we eat, and then we can't go around trying foods.
Yeah, I mean we cannot not go to Tokyo Dining.
Yeah, and I want to try all these other restaurants at Epcot, but we can't not go to Tokyo Dining.
It's so relaxing, and the waitresses are so charming and relaxing, and it's beautiful, and I just love it. Yeah. It's gorgeous. That was my number 7, Tower of Terror.
Awesome.
What is your number 6?
Number 6 for me is Peter Pan's Flight.
Oh.
Yeah, which you already mentioned. I love that ride. It's one of my favorite Disney movies. I mean, I have many, but it's one of my big ones. And because I love Tinkerbell.
Yeah.
Probably second only to Ariel, so and I love Wendy, and I just love everything about Peter Pan.
It's just a fantastic
I just love everything about Peter Pan. I love the movie. I love the I love the dark rides.
Yeah.
This is like one of the original rides, you know. I love the way the characters are done. I just love the whole thing. And you're like flying in this ship. It is just crazy. You're flying over Neverland.
And
It's
it feels so
amazing.
smooth too.
It does. And
It really
this
feels
is like
smooth.
designed in the 50s. It's crazy.
It is amazing.
I just love that ride, and I love the queue and everything you said, you know.
It's awesome. So my number 6 is the Tiki Room.
The Tiki Room
Tiki
is your
Room.
number 6.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Are you surprised by how high it is or how low it is?
I just like I don't know. I don't know how surprised I am. I might not be very surprised.
Okay.
Maybe how high it is. You know how like.
I love the Tiki Room, and I'm so sad that we haven't gotten to experience it in recent years because first of all,
They
the
close it for the
song.
Halloween party.
Yeah, we're usually just going through.
Yeah.
But what's cool is they keep some of the animation going, the
birds
going on while you're trick or treating. But the song in itself, oh, it's so classic Disney World, classic Disneyland. Just the fact that it's one of the original rides. I just love it. I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it.
I love it too.
It's so good.
It didn't make my list, but I do enjoy it. I would go every time if you know it were possible.
I would. I mean, it's so. It excites me, and it's just like everything darkens and the birds come out, and
I think what I love is like that 60s Disney.
yes, exactly.
And I don't remember exactly what year it came out, but I think it was like the 60s,
it was definitely 60s.
at least developing at that time. And you know, it feels like it because of the whole, you know, the popularity of the whole tiki kind of thing at the time, and then the voices which you recognize because they're classic Disney park voices and everything, and it's like it's one of those time capsules. It's one of those things that transports you. So
it's so fantastic.
I love it as a long-term, like an old school Disney fan. Just
it reminds you of those classic Disney live-action films.
And those kind of attractions are they're getting fewer and fewer of those. They're starting to replace stuff, you know.
Most of the list that I've said so far are the classic ones, for real. So
yeah.
A little sad and scary, but
yeah, I hate to lose any of the classic attractions. When they took out 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, I mean, I don't know, that might have been on this list, you know, if it was still there. And that when they filled in that lagoon, I was just like devastated.
I know.
Okay, so that was what number?
That was number 6. What's your number 5?
My number 5 is the Jungle Cruise.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, which again, we haven't been on that one in a little while, have we?
No.
We get there for the Halloween party, and you know, but yeah, hopefully this year we'll make it to that because it's always been one of my favorites since I was a little kid.
I love the Jungle Cruise too.
You know, and it's more based on those old like
adventure stories.
Live action that whole like. A lot of Frontierland and Adventureland were sort of based on those old nature films that Disney used to do. But it also makes me think of the Jungle Book because that was like my favorite movie as a kid. You know? Yeah, I just love it. And then it's a very humor themed now. Right.
Usually it depends on the skipper if you get a good one or a bad one, but usually it's
they're
really
making they're making supposedly they've been talking about it forever, but I guess it's happening, a movie. Starring The Rock, which I'm excited for. Although, am I wrong? Should they not have made this a few years ago with Bruce Campbell
that would have been
as
amazing.
The comedic driver of this tour?
That would have been so awesome.
That obviously ends up going on some other kind of adventure.
That would have been amazing.
I think that would have been amazing. But, you know, Rock's great, I love it. But I love that ride. Yeah,
the Jungle Cruise is fantastic.
And it's the retro thing again, the old school.
Very
Disney.
Retro, and I always remember that movie, which there was this Disney special when I was a kid that I would ask Nathan or somebody in the household to put the tape on because I remember the VHS had Annie recorded on it, and then right after Annie was this Disney World special.
It was one of the Disneyland.
Oh, it was Disneyland.
Birthday specials.
Okay, so we had Cheers, the cast of Cheers that was on it, and we had Tony Danza who was on the Jungle Cruise, and many other
Was
celebrities.
Cheers on that one? The cast of
Cheers was on that one.
They were on a few.
And I remember that our tape ended halfway through.
Was it through the Jungle Cruise?
No,
or was
it was halfway
Was that when
through
Ernest came in?
Ernest, yeah, and I was
Yeah,
like,
and then you had to
no,
put the other half of the
Ernest.
tape.
It was
But
so
yeah,
good.
Charles Fleischer, the voice of Roger Rabbit, was the tour guide on the Jungle Cruise.
Yeah,
And Tony Danza was like there, and he was freaking out.
I love that special
being attacked
so
by
much.
animals and stuff like that.
The way our house was set up is we had our bathroom, and then like, so I would be like a little baby taking a bath, and then I would have the door open watching that special into the TV, the big TV.
I remember in my bathtub, I had this toy boat that I loved. It was like a wind-up, but it was because it had like a little motor like thing. But it was like the boat from the Jungle Cruise.
Oh
I used
my
to love
gosh,
playing
that's
Jungle
awesome.
Cruise in the bathtub with that boat.
That is amazing.
When I was super little. So yeah, I love that ride.
So
But that was
good.
number 5. What was your number 5?
My number 5 was American Adventure.
Oh really? Yeah,
Yes.
much higher
Yes.
up the list, but
Yes.
it was hard for me. But yeah.
Absolutely. American Adventure, very emotional for me. I love it so much. I don't know, basically what you said, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just it's very close to my heart.
Yeah,
For
I even
me.
love that little shop and outside, and then the
Yeah.
singers. They have those American singers.
Oh yeah,
and all
yeah,
that.
Voices of Liberty.
Yeah.
And then also the whole building that it's in, the inside of the building with they'll have like a little exhibit for with different things at different
Yeah,
times.
they change it up a little.
And it's just so, it's like being in the state capitol or something. I don't know.
But
It's like,
but not super dull.
yeah,
it's like
exactly.
really interesting.
And then they take you like walk on this ramp, and you've got all these flags hanging, and then it even says America's Frederick Golden Wings. I'm gonna cry. on
And
the
then they sometimes they have like revolutionary guys come out and like
yeah.
doing a little march outside.
Oh my
and
gosh,
everything.
it's so
I
cool.
remember we have a picture somewhere when we were kids, and I got a picture with Mickey Mouse, and it might be the first time I ever got a picture with Mickey Mouse.
I remember
and he's
seeing
in the
that.
colonial,
I remember seeing that,
the
yeah.
Revolutionary War outfit. It's awesome.
So amazing.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Number 4. Let me see. I lost my place here. Number 4. Spaceship Earth.
Okay, that's my number 4.
No man, Jinx.
So, yeah, number 4, Spaceship Earth.
Yeah, man. Totally.
This,
Have to get on that at Epcot every time, and it is just, it's one of the last things. I mean, there are a few, but it's one of the very last things in Future World that is the original Future World. Even though
Yeah.
the audio has changed, I think they took out. Did they take out that amazing song?
They took out
Tomorrow's
the amazing
Child.
song, which Tomorrow's Child.
Oh my god.
Oh God, so good. There was even this part in Tomorrow's Child where, and this still angers me today, like when I'm writing Spaceship Earth. Well, let's give a little synopsis about Spaceship Earth. Basically, it
Spaceship
takes-
Earth is the big ball
Yeah,
that
it's the
symbolizes
big-
Epcot. And you get in your ride vehicle, like most of the rides used to be at Epcot in
And
Future
there,
World.
it's so 80s.
And it's just that slow, relaxing
It's so
ride
awesome.
with animatronics. It used to be a bunch of rides in Future World like that.
Yeah.
And those are our favorite things. Slow, relaxing, looking at animatronics.
Mm-hmm.
And it just takes you up, and you're basically going around to the top of the ball. But what you're seeing is the history of communication.
Right.
From like the caveman through
Yep.
Egyptian times. You see Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah, you see how the
Everything.
printing press is developed.
Printing press, and then eventually you see like the guys in the garage inventing the first computer.
Right, I
and
mean-
even that is just so cool looking.
Yeah.
It's like Stranger Things style, you know that
I
part.
know.
That part. And,
And
it's just
before
like
that, you got
crazy.
Foxy Cleopatra.
Cleopatra and everything.
Like-
It's just like, I love it. And they always have a great person doing the narration.
Right now it's Judi Dench.
It used to be
Really
Jeremy
good.
Irons.
Yeah.
I think at one point it was Walter Cronkite.
Oh, wow.
I don't remember who the others have been. I don't think it was started with Walter Cronkite, but it might have. But it's just
There's
it's awesome.
this epic part in Spaceship Earth where it whips you, well, it doesn't whip you around, but it turns you around, and you start facing, you just come into this huge like you're in space.
Yeah,
There are
when you
stars
hit
everywhere.
that top of that ball.
The very top, yeah, and the music escalates, and right now they changed it to a very less than thrilling piece of music where it used to
Tomorrow's Child would come on?
It used to be Tomorrow's Child, and it used to be there literally used to be a bum bum bum.
Oh God.
Bum,
It was so amazing, guys. It was so good.
It's so good. I miss it so much.
Yeah, so but at least the ride is still there.
We've even talked about taking our headphones with us and putting that music in. And I'm still gonna do that. We still
have we not done that before?
No, we haven't done it yet.
Oh my God.
We need to cue
we
it
need
up
to go
so
on
that
all
when
the
we
rides.
we put the original
We
music
need to go
on.
to all the rides with the original music.
Yeah.
Well, the surviving rides, which is like 2 maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They took a I forgot a ride. Completely.
Honorable mention. You're just gonna have to
definitely
wait.
honorable mention.
Okay. Yeah. It's not the one I texted you about later.
No, I completely forgot about this ride.
Yeah, but I texted you about another one later. It might be that. Okay, well,
anyway,
that was number 4.
Yeah,
so number 3. Okay, for me, when we're getting down to the top 3, which we're doing now, it's gonna be pretty basically popular because these rides are crazy popular. Because my number 3 is the Haunted Mansion.
Okay.
You know, pretty typical to have that in your top 3.
Oh,
I guess.
yeah, absolutely.
But it's just an awesome ride. It is everything you want. It's just this trip through a haunted house, and it's not too scary.
No, it is.
It's just a little bit creepy, but
it is fantastic.
it's just fun
It's
and
so
awesome.
awesome.
I ride it alone, but it's not really scary. but it is a little creepy.
It is so good. I mean, and you'll get stuck in some parts, and
Yeah.
I mean, especially in the graveyard scene, I love getting stuck in there. And it's so amazing too to see how everything works, especially in the ballroom scene.
Oh.
Where they're blowing out the cake and stuff.
Yeah, if you know a little bit, or if you get stuck there and you really analyze it and everything.
Or you can actually take time to look at each character. That's I love it, and I love the 2 guys shooting each other.
Amazing. That dude at the beginning, Master Gracie hanging from the ceiling.
Yes.
Oh, I usually miss that because it's so quick.
I love that they put that in there. I don't remember that being in there in the old days.
Probably wasn't. Yeah.
It makes me so happy that there's a haunted mansion at Disney. I don't know, it's a classic ride.
It's so awesome. Yeah, I even didn't mind the Eddie Murphy movie.
I like it too.
I thought it was fun.
I like it too.
And I thought it captured the spirit of the idea of a family, going on the ride.
Yeah.
It was a family that goes to the house and has to spend the night there.
It's super cheesy. I mean, it's
but
the acting.
The ride is cheesy.
Some of the acting is awful, but I mean, I enjoy watching it. It's just like Tower of Terror, like that kind of a thing.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Okay,
so my number 3 is Pirates of the Caribbean.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes.
Really? Okay.
Yes. So that is my number 3. This ride is so incredible. I love it. I love the feeling you get. There's like no other feeling that I've felt just like once you enter in the caves and stuff, and then when you actually get in the boat and you're like, oh gosh, I know what's about to happen.
That massive pirate ship.
And you just get everything.
Oh, you mean
everything turns super dark and it's all misty, and you're just like, oh god, this is amazing. My favorite scene is that epic pirate scene where they're shooting each other,
the ships
with the
and
cannons and everything. It's awesome. It's.
How do you feel about changes? We might have discussed this before, but first they added Johnny Depp throughout as Jack Sparrow.
I don't remember it without Johnny Depp anymore.
Wow.
So, I mean, I'm fine with it.
And then they changed the redhead.
I'm fine with it. I was fine with it before too. I mean, I'm not super picky. I don't know.
Okay.
I think it was. I don't think they needed to change it, but whatever.
Yeah. Anything else about Pirates of the Caribbean? You love the movies, or just?
I do love the movies that I've seen.
You've only seen the first 3.
The first 3, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Everybody comes down on the 4th movie, but I actually enjoyed it a lot because to me they got overcomplicated as they made a trilogy out of the first one, and I still enjoy them, but the third one's a little harder to follow. But then the fourth one kind of got simple again to me, and plus I love mermaids, and she was really trying to do anything.
Oh, yeah.
But I just really liked that fourth one, even though nobody else did. And then the fifth one that's when it starts to feel, I enjoyed it a lot, but it is where it starts to feel like, oh, this is just a pirate product now.
No,
because it was still really good, and I do recommend you watch it because like it carries, it brings back the story of Will and
That's
and
cool.
Elizabeth.
That's awesome.
And
their son or something,
yeah,
right?
it's worth watching at least one time for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's got its good points, but I enjoy it. Yeah, it's a little bit more like trying to repeat to a certain degree, just with the same like guy girl thing, because his son and then the new girl they bring on. But anyway,
so
that
number
was
2.
No, okay, we're going number 2. Mine is Star Tours.
Okay.
A lot of people might think that ride is dated, even though they've updated it a lot. But I am such a huge Star Wars fan, and maybe it's just a simulator ride, but this is the only place I've ever ridden on a simulator, and I think it's awesome.
I love Star Tours. It did not make my list, but I love it.
I'm surprised it didn't make your list, because I know you're a big Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
I do miss the fact that it used to be more focused on the old school stuff.
Right, I do miss the.
And I love the new stuff. I love the new movies, but the old school one, like my biggest like my strong feelings for Star Wars. I'm not phrasing this right, but when I was a little kid was when Return of the Jedi came out.
Right.
And I love the Ewoks, and a lot of fans hate the Ewoks.
I love the Ewoks too.
But the fact that it used to be a trip to Endor, I love that.
I used to request that you bring out your Ewok playset.
Oh, the village.
I used to be like, Nathan, please can we play with the Ewok village?
It's in my closet right now.
And then we would watch the Ewok movies.
Yeah.
I remember that specifically.
I love the Ewoks, and a lot of fans hate them, but but it used to be a trip to Endor, and I really loved that. But I still love that ride. I mean, I felt like I was in Star Wars, and I know that things are going to get way more intense with Star Wars Land.
I'm so excited.
But I'm afraid they might take out Star Tours when that opens up.
I don't think they will.
I think they probably will, just to keep all of that within Star Wars Land. I think it would have been a great way for people to go to Star Wars Land by having to take the Star Tours
that would have been awesome.
shuttle, and then you come out of it in Star Wars Land.
That would have been amazing.
I know that.
Very much like the Hogwarts Express almost.
Yeah, you'd have to come up with an easy version also for people who can't handle all the. Because Mom can't ride that ride because it shakes you around. But I think that would have been the right way to get people into Star Wars Land. You have to take a shuttle and go through space,
Yeah, absolutely.
But I love that ride. Yeah, so much fun.
Super good. My number 2 is Haunted Mansion. Yep, I love it. Haunted Mansion. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, what I said, we discussed it together, actually. Yeah. Okay, cool. My number 1.
Oh, honorable mentions?
Should we just talk about that after? Because, okay, we're going to talk about all the honorable mentions after. I'm going to go ahead and say number 1. My number 1 is Pirates of the Caribbean.
There you go. Okay, cool.
Like we discussed thoroughly. It just transports you, that especially that part where you get to the 2 big ships and it's the night sky and it's like you're at this place. One of my favorite movies in general, but also Disney movies, is the Treasure Island movie that they made in 1950, I think, with Bobby Driscoll.
Yeah, super good.
Oh God, I love that movie. Robert Newton as Long John Silver, just amazing. He is Long John Silver.
Oh yeah.
In fact, after that movie,
he got his own
they
show,
made
right?
a sequel.
Oh.
But it wasn't made by Disney.
Okay.
But he played Long John Silver in the sequel, and then that turned into a TV series.
Yeah.
And it was called Long John Silver.
That
it was
is
a
pretty
series,
awesome.
It was amazing. But anyway, I love Treasure Island. I love the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. I don't like when things get changed, but I don't hate it. I don't mind them. But yeah, I love that ride. But
It's
we're
so
running
good.
out of time, so better go with your number one.
Okay, so my number one.
I didn't get that.
Joy to the world.
I know what it is, but go ahead.
Is Carousel of Progress.
I knew
Yay!
And that would be an honorable mention for me. I didn't put it on my list, but...
So I love Carousel of Progress so much. It's the first ride that I want to ride when I get in the park. I just love how old-fashioned it is and how vintagey it is and classic Disney. I mean,
It's very much the spirit of Walt Disney.
It was in the World's Fair, Walt Disney, all of that. I love it, and I love how it progresses through the ages because I love history and I love seeing the different fashions in history and the different like styles of music and everything, and I love the family aspect of it. But I love it. It reminds me slightly. Some of the parts remind me of like Meet Me in St. Louis and things like that.
I can see that, yeah.
And the fact that Ralphie is the narrator.
Gene Shepard, yeah.
I cry. I know I say I cry a lot, but I cry every time the opening starts where Gene Shepard just starts announcing that it was in the World's Fair.
Yeah, he gives a little backstory on the ride.
And you see the curtains with the Carousel of Progress logo, and
You're crying.
I'm crying. It's awesome that I really love the movie Tomorrowland because they did put that in there.
Did they?
Yeah, for like, or no, they didn't put the ride in there. They put the song in there.
Oh yeah.
It's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
Yeah. We love that movie. Kevin Smith loves that movie, which I was like, hey, that's
cool.
awesome.
That's awesome.
Because most people hate that movie.
See, good taste. But it's just, I love the music so much. The Sherman Brothers, they wrote that. And it's just so classic Disney. And I was very disappointed last year when I didn't get to make it. To it, but hopefully we'll get to see it this year.
Yeah, it was closed for some reason last year.
It's not usually open during the trick or treat.
Yeah, but it's usually open before they start trick or treating, right? Or not?
Yeah, we usually go at from 4 to 7.
Maybe they're not doing. Maybe they're closing it for Halloween now because it's just easier since they use that line.
And people say that they're going to change the end scene.
No, people are saying they should change it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm okay with it like that, but
they probably should. It's the ending, just the end scene.
I just really hope they never get rid of it.
Yeah.
I will be so depressed if they do.
Oh no, they shouldn't. And it's one of those.
If they're going to do anything,
old school rides.
If they're going to do anything, they should like replace the seats or something. That would be nice.
I don't remember how
they're just a little dingy looking.
Are they?
Now.
Or just like
reupholster
them or something?
It's kind of cool because like they're like the original seats or 80s seats, you know. So yeah, that's my number one. Right. Honorable mention.
Okay, so my battery light is blinking, so we're gonna have to do this fairly quick. But go ahead. You probably have less than I do.
I do have less, and as we were going along, I was feeling a little bad. I was like, oh God, I love all these. So my honorable mentions are. The Three Caballeros ride in Mexico, which I really hope they don't turn into Coco.
I love it.
I will be so depressed.
I love Coco too, and I'm kind of okay with that, but yeah, Three Caballeros.
I love the Three Caballeros cartoon. I just love all three characters in that movie, and I have a really special place in my heart for it, and it's just amazing going through idealistic Mexico in this ride. I love it so much.
You still need to see Coco though, and it's gonna make you cry if you watch it.
The second one is The Land, which I just remembered a while ago.
That's what I texted you about.
Oh, did you? Okay.
The boat ride.
Yeah, so The Land, let's listen to The Land we all
Which they don't have that song anymore.
Yeah, which is another one which we will probably go through with our headphones and listen to it. But I know some of you guys might think it's cheesy, but I have a really, really fun memories of it. And it's an awesome ride. It takes you through all the development of plants and things and vegetables and stuff like that. It's really good.
Oh yeah, and I mean everything you're saying I love. There's so many attractions I love that I couldn't even get on my honorable mention list, which is a long list. Is that all your honorable mentions?
That's all of mine. I mean, a lot of attractions that they have changed, like maybe we can do another one at some point of like
gone attractions
for instance,
removed. Or
I don't want to mention it now, but like the Figment ride.
Yeah,
I love the previous incarnation of it.
I've got it on my honorable mentions, maybe just to say the original version
with
was
Dreamfinder.
unbelievable, and I still have to ride even this inferior version every time because I love the character, and because likely the ride is going away for something Inside Out themed, which I love Inside Out, but I can't imagine Epcot without Figment.
I can't imagine Epcot without Figment either.
And I mean, either incorporate him somehow. I don't know. You really can't because they have their imaginary character with. Oh my God, I forget his name, but.
Duffy.
No, Duffy's a teddy bear. Gosh, I haven't watched the movie in a while. But anyway, they have their own like imaginary character, so that kind of sucks because I can't imagine not having a Figment ride.
I know.
So that is even though it's a really inferior ride, the original was amazing. So I had to mention that. But also Splash Mountain, which is an amazing ride. But last time I rode it, because I don't really quite fit into it, my legs were so cramped. I almost had to just stop the ride, please. I have to get out because it was just so. Those seats were just so. My legs were all cramped up. But the ride itself is amazing.
The fact that they even still have.
And I'm hoping I can ride it again eventually. That's like the reason I haven't tried to ride the Seven Dwarfs Mine Trains because they say even tiny people are crammed in there. But
we'll have to go through these a little faster. I think
okay. Frozen. I remember when we rode that. We've only been on it once. But we were crying and stuff just because
and I don't
it was well done. And
I'm not a huge Frozen fan. I mean, I like the movie.
I love the movie.
But I everybody's obsessed with it, and I'm not at all.
But we loved the ride when we rode it.
It was a really good ride. But I miss Maelstrom.
I miss Maelstrom too. I would not be somebody on board with replacing the classic Epcot rides with IP rides.
No.
Because I really love the original Epcot, and especially
And I know that the Three Caballeros ride used to be without the Three Caballeros.
But that was something that incorporated well into that.
Right.
And they could have. I mean, I'm not saying the Frozen ride couldn't have been done better to have more about Norway and everything in it, but it was just a really good ride, guys. It's just
But it should have been in Fantasyland. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, probably. Mitsukoshi Department Store. This is not an attraction.
That's not
but
fair.
I had to say
that
it.
Is not fair.
Yeah, but you wanted to say it too.
Okay.
Okay, this is just you cannot go to Epcot without.
This is an attraction in itself.
It's like when we go to Epcot, when we walk in, our goal is to get to Mitsukoshi.
We have to get to Japan.
We don't rush to it, but the whole time, we're thinking about. I can't wait to get to Japan and get to Mitsukoshi and also Tokyo Dining, which is upstairs. It's like an attraction for us. It is like an attraction for us. It definitely attracts us to it. It's just so fun, so amazing.
Did we explain what it is?
It's a Japanese department store. You've got an anime section. You've got the section where you can buy oysters. They open them up and get a pearl out for you.
And it's below Tokyo Dining.
It's just so awesome. And then they have all the Japanese items, It's just so cool. And Tokyo Dining is kind of part of it, I think. Voyage of the Little Mermaid / the Little Mermaid ride, just because I love Ariel. Cool. And I love dark rides, so those rides are always great to me. And then I love live action Ariel, so I just love that. Ariel's my favorite Disney princess.
Oh, I missed two honorable mentions. One Man's Dream. With Walt Disney, it's a walkthrough exhibit.
Love it.
Absolutely love it. Every time it's open, I have to go in there. It just shows his experience through the years of building the Disney company, and it has Musketeer memorabilia and everything, and it's awesome. I love it. And then Oh Canada.
Oh Canada, I know you love that one.
Canada.
I love it, but it wouldn't be in my top 10, but I love it.
The music.
So many. Everything you mentioned, I love.
Yeah.
Carousel Progress is on my list here. The other two left on my list right now. The Country Bear Jamboree.
That's fun.
I love it. It's old school. It's hokey. It's just the spirit of Disney to me, of the parks and everything.
I totally get it.
I just love it. Animatronic bears singing. And finally, Kilimanjaro safaris.
Oh yeah.
It's not going to be perfect every time. Sometimes you're going to see more animals and stuff, but
it's so much fun.
It's just it's like you're on a safari and you're seeing live animals, and it's just fun.
We really want to stay at Animal Kingdom Lodge at some point.
And we haven't been to that park in quite a while.
No.
We love that park. I remember last time we went, we really it was just you and me, I think.
Yeah.
We just had a lot of fun.
And we ate at the restaurant there.
Well, we've eaten a few times a Yak and Yeti, which people say is bad, but we love it.
It's
I think some people do love it, but we love it. So that's everything I have down.
That's our list, guys.
I had to whittle this down. You remember my list was way longer.
Yeah, I know. Mine was like a little easier to go through, but
I had a hard time.
We really love all those rides, but those are our top 10.
That's top 10.
Top 10.
Okay, guys. We'll see you next time. On Disney by Moonlight.
Woo! See you guys later.
See ya.
There's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow, just a dream away. Well, it sounds pretty good. In fact, that's just the right spirit.